Ready? Hello, everybody, and welcome to Week 16 of the NFL season. Welcome back to Chalk Talk. It's our second episode where we go over we break down the DFS slate. We have Saturday football, Christmas football.
Oh yeah,
This week. Merry Christmas to us. We get to watch more football. This COVID stuff is football like every day. It feels like.
it is what it was like
Um,
8 out of the last 10 days had NFL football on it, so
Crazy. It just feels
it's
like
been
there's a
good.
game on every single day. And we're recording this on Thursday, so we have a game tonight, but we won't go over that. But we'll start. We're going to just do a kind of a brief breakdown of the Saturday slate. Last time we did this, it just all got blown up because of COVID, but
Yeah,
hopefully that doesn't happen this time. And then we'll do a full breakdown of the Sunday slate. But first, we'll start off on the first game. We have, so with a 2 game slate, I don't know, Corey, like, how do you play? Because I think 2 game slates more than anything are more about like how you construct your roster. Yes, it's about individual plays, but it's more like game theory, I think, than like actually picking the players that you think are going to have a great game. I think there's a lot more game theory
hmm
because there's so many players that are going to be high owned,
yeah,
and it's about finding leverage on these slates.
yeah. I mean, so like this past like for Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday I got slaughtered, but Monday I did pretty well. And essentially, you just gotta. I think the way to go with it is just pick the game that you think is going to be the highest scoring, and just attack it that way instead
The
of trying.
defenses of the other game, and maybe attack. Just
Yeah, or
that's
or
how I played. I showed you guys screenshots. I This past weekend I've had 3 slates in a row where I was off from first by one player. It
mhm.
was the defense in one game. You had to actually play the Vikings against Justin Fields. Um, another one was the showdown, and it was like it came down to like a kicker and the captain, but like I
Yeah.
was in it. I just needed like a Brian Edwards catch, no field goal to win it, and I would have taken solo first. It was just down to the wire. Unfortunately, couldn't get it done, but I like 2 game slates more than the main slate.
It's fun. I think it's more fun. I mean, I hate showdown slates. Like, I mean, I don't hate showdown slates. I get to the point where when I'm making like 15, 20 different lineups, and I'm like, I feel like I'm just clicking on the same thing over and over again. I'm like, this is just so tedious. At least in 2 game slates, like you can get pretty different, and
Well,
get
you also are clicking a lot of the same plays, but it's just about getting that one player.
yeah.
Like, I don't know, like on the last slate, it was like Brian Edwards or Zay Jones. It
hmm
was kind of like the Raiders, which is kind of where I was way over the field on all those like secondary Raiders receivers. Um, and whether sometimes going double tight ends
Yeah.
is viable on these short slates. So I don't know. For me, it's more about leverage. So like for example, we'll get into Jonathan Taylor. I don't know what do you think his ownership is going to be like 80 plus
85,
percent?
85. Yeah.
Yeah. So and sometimes there is like on a 2 game slate, if you think he's like 90% in the optimal, then you probably just lock him in
Yeah.
and get different elsewhere. Um, but we'll first go into the first game, just kind of see some of our plays, and then the second game, and then we'll kind of go over a full lineup. But in the Cleveland Green Bay game, what are like? Do you like the quarterbacks here? Like, what do you like here?
I mean, I'm looking at so Aaron Rodgers is 7,400 for this game. He's the most expensive quarterback on the slate this week at 7,400. I mean, rightfully so. He's playing at home. We still don't know. I mean, Cleveland should be getting most of their guys back anyways from COVID. But
Yeah,
there's
Landry's coming back.
yeah on their defensive side, I know their secondary was pretty banged up as well. So I'm kind of intrigued to wait until maybe Friday, even Saturday morning, and see what the secondary of Cleveland looks like. Because I mean, I almost pick Aaron Rodgers every week because he just does so well. And so if you're going to do Aaron Rodgers, I mean, you're going to do Devontae Adams. He's 8,700. He's up there in price, but I mean, so the issue with him is, but at least it's a 2 game slate. So if he does only score, 18, 20
That's the
points.
thing. You
Yeah.
don't. That's the other thing we've talked about this in this last slates. I even said like, I was saying like, I mean, Jonathan Taylor ended up getting there in
Yeah.
that last play, a 67-yard run. But I was like, he could score 13 points at 80 something 100 and be in the
Yeah.
optimal. And
So,
and we saw that Justin Jefferson scored like 13. He was 8,300. He was in the winner.
yeah. So I think this is just a spot where you play who you like. And for to be honest, for this game, I don't think this is going to be a close enough game. I don't think this is like a place where you play a bunch of play. Well, okay, so this is where you get into it, where this you can be completely different here, because I think most of the plays on this slate are going to come from the Colts Cardinals game, anyways, because a lot of people are expecting that to be a closer game than the Cleveland Browns um, traveling into or the Browns traveling into Green Bay. So you could here, play Chubb, you could play Adams, and then just like get away from that, and then just leave everything else for the next game.
Our defense, you probably take a defense.
Or defense here too as well, which
I
obviously
think if you're just full stacking the Cardinals, like if you think that game's a shootout, then you would basically just pick the defenses, the running backs, and maybe like a random receiver, and then have most of your plays from the other game.
mm-hmm.
And to get leverage on the field, like if you think everyone's going to do that, Rodgers probably has some of the best leverage. So I think Kyler and Rodgers are going to be your most popular, then Carson Wentz, then Baker Mayfield. That'll be the order of ownership. Now, between Kyler and Rodgers, I don't know. Do you think more people play Rodgers because he's been playing better and Kyler's been playing worse?
I think
If that's the case, I want to play way more Kyler. I want to play whichever quarter between Rodgers and Kyler. I want to play whichever quarterback's less owned.
I trust Rodgers more than I trust Kyler. So in my
But you think
opinion,
more people are going to play Rodgers?
I think no, I think more people are going to play Kyler because one, he's cheaper and he has the running upside, and I think that people are going to think that's a closer game. So
Yeah, that's kind of my decision because I don't really want to play Baker and Wentz. I don't know. I think I'd rather just play Rodgers or Kyler than Wentz. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for quarterbacks. Running backs, Chubb definitely. Like you have to consider him just on any slate. He can just always break a long one and bust it open. And then Jones and Dillon is like that split backfield kind of worries me. So I'll have some exposure, but I think they'll be some of my least exposure out of all the running backs.
yeah, I don't trust Connor and if you're splitting backfield like that, maybe if the news comes out that James Conner's, but the Colts.
Well, James Conner's probably not playing.
Okay, so you have Chase Edmonds all by himself
At 4,700.
He's gonna be extremely high owned, and I don't recommend playing him because
It'll be Taylor and Edmonds is the most popular running backs.
but the Colts are so good at stopping the run. It's like
Yeah, but Edmonds at that price, like he catches pass, he'll be like the workhorse back.
yeah.
So if Connor's ruled out, you'll have Taylor being the most owned, Edmonds being the second most owned. So you do have leverage. Let's say you fade Devontae Adams. If you fade Devontae Adams, I think you have to play a Packer in your lineup. So if you fade Devontae Adams, you're either playing Alan Lazard because I think Marquez Valdez-Scantling is probably going to miss.
He's got COVID.
Yeah, so there's a good chance he misses. So I think if you fade Adams, do so at your own risk. On this slate, it's very possible to jam Taylor and Adams and still, there's some Cardinals value that's going to open up. But if you do, I think you just have to play Lazard, Jones, or Dillon. Because what you're saying is if Adams doesn't get there, the Packers are still going to score points there, and it's going to come through one of those three guys.
Yeah.
So that's like a game theory thing. Like I don't think you just fade the Packers.
No.
Or you play the defense and just expect like 2 defensive touchdowns so the Packers are never on the field.
Yeah, which would be wild to even think about.
But
also,
that's how you have to like think about it. Like you have to tell yourself, like if I'm fading Adams, this is what I need to do.
Yeah, and I mean you'd be very, very different if that was the case, and you had all the other pieces correct. You probably would be in contention for first place. Michael Pittman at 5K, he's gonna be also really highly owned as well. I think it's I know we all know what the Colts want to do is run the ball. Carson Wentz completed 5 passes last week, 6 passes, and so if it gets to the point where okay, the thing for the Colts, if Carson Wentz throws the ball 40 plus times, they've lost every single game he's done that. So, and anytime Jonathan Taylor hits 100 yards and has a touchdown, the Colts will win. So it's very you play Pittman, you play him at your own risk. I think he's extremely good. It's just
He's so cheap.
he's so cheap, and he's the number one there, and he does have games where he breaks out. So
I would guess he's the next most popular play after Adams.
oh yeah, for sure. Because then if you look at
Him
it,
or Kirk, him or Kirk.
yeah,
It'll be close between them.
and if I guess Rondell Moore misses since
He's
you have
Rondell Moore is dealing with an injury, and they're saying game time, but it's leaning towards doubtful.
yeah, and you have Hopkins out, so then that
Yeah,
leaves you
so
with
it's like your receivers are gonna be Christian Kirk, AJ Green, and Antoine Wesley.
or Isabella if because Wesley's
It'll be
questionable.
Wesley who's been playing ahead of him.
He's questioned right now. He's questionable.
Yeah, but I think Wesley will play.
Um,
I think I think with the Colts, like with the Colts and Cardinals, I'm setting a rule to where, well, honestly, right now I'm leaning towards playing Kyler like as my main quarterback. Sometimes on these 2 game slates, what I do is like, let's say, that 50-cent tournament, Corey, like where you can play like 150 entries.
yeah,
This is just an example. If you play 150 entries in that, that's $75, right?
yep,
You can just treat that as like you're playing Kyler in just like a $75 tournament, but you're getting a million different combinations with him instead of like trying to get a little bit of everybody. Sometimes on these slates, that's how I came. I was profitable this past weekend. You just make a stand, and I just say I'm doing 150 Kyler lineups or 150 Rogers.
yeah. Because then if you are if you're doing that and he hits, you have the piece there, and you're at least making money on it. Because sometimes where I get in trouble is where if I'm making 15 different lineups for like a showdown or a 2 game slate, I'm like every like fifth lineup, I'm like switching my quarterback or something, and at that point in time, you're limiting, you're broadening your field, but you're also limiting yourself if you miss. So it is a risk, but I think it's a risk everyone should look at doing because I mean, trust me, like when I said I got slaughtered on Tuesday, I did because I didn't have enough Jalen Hurts and I had more Stafford, and
that was one that I was like, I didn't have a stand. Like on the Fields one, I just thought like I hated Card. I wasn't gonna play Nick Mullins, and who was the one against Field? Oh, Kirk Cousins. I don't play Kirk Cousins prime time. And even though Kirk threw 2 touchdowns, Fields outscored him because he had the mobility.
Yeah.
And on this slate, Murray has the mobility. I love those mobile quarterbacks, and that's why I'm leaning towards him. But it would be between him and Rodgers.
The thing is, he doesn't really. He has he doesn't run though.
I think he's gonna run more. I think he's gonna start running more.
I mean, he hasn't done it all year. His over
He
under
did a
props were
couple
like
games ago. He ran,
27 yards.
and he'll still run at the goal line.
What do you think his over
Without
under
Connor, he might do it more.
What do you think his over under is for rushing yards?
Probably like 38 yards or something.
I'd be surprised if it's over 30.
I think it's probably in the 30s. But so going back to this game, another thing is like whatever quarterback you pick, you need to stack them with a minimum of 2 pass catchers. I think on these short slates, like 3 game slates, maybe you can get away with like stacking like 1 if it's a mobile quarterback, but like 2, like whatever quarterback is going to be the highest scoring, he's probably going to bring like a minimum of 2 people with him in a short slate. And so I usually do 3, like I do 2 to 3, but I think doing like a Kyler, Edmonds, one of the 3 receivers, and Ertz is going to be my favorite stack. Like I'm going to be running like 150 combos of that almost. I feel like I'm close to just locking that in, and then I'll just get different. I'll put in, Pascal, Pittman, T.Y. Hilton. I'll just be able to get every combo imaginable with the other running backs. And Taylor, I'm considering doing a lock.
Taylor's in every single one of my lineups. That's for sure.
I'm considering just like
proven.
the Cooper Cup. Like there was, I locked him in. Like it's just
it's like him and Devontae
Adams. I think you have to play one of Adams or Taylor. There's no way. I don't think you can. Like you're outsmarting yourself for some reason. If you're just fading both of them, you need to play one of them. at least.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, Kyler Murray's rushing prop, 26.5.
Okay. What's his odds to score? I bet you it's like probably like
Anytime
plus 150.
touchdown. Anytime touchdown, plus 170 on FanDuel.
Yeah, so I mean that's reasonable to score. He scores a rushing touchdown. I mean that already separates him. Um,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think here. Tight ends. Uh, I really like Ertz. Like, I
I
mean, this is
mean,
an ugly tight end slate. Ugly.
yeah, I mean, it's Ertz. You know what? Mercedes Lewis is. Okay.
No. I thought about Mercedes Lewis was going to be in my pool because, especially with Marquez Valdez Scantling out, you could see more
Mhm.
tight end looks.
And he, the only thing is he catches like 2 or 3 passes a game,
He
and
catches a touchdown. That's all. You're playing him for a touchdown.
no, yeah. So I considered him. Browns. I mean, Njoku looked good.
But Hooper and Bryant will be there.
Yeah. So then again, it's like a three-headed monster, and
And Colts, I said it last time. I said play those Patriots tight ends. Hunter Henry scored two. The Colts are not good against tight ends, and I think you're going to see Kyler. Like he has his three receivers now with Hopkins and Moore out. I think Ertz can just get peppered this game.
yeah. I mean,
What do you think about
you've
that? Like,
been.
don't you think?
I know, but I think. I mean, I still think Ertz is okay. I mean, he's a good
I don't.
play.
I think he's bad. I mean, I don't think. Okay, I think he's like below average. But it's just if he's going to get 10 plus targets on this 2 game slate, and the other tight end options are trash.
Yeah, he's gonna be most popular. I think a lot of people are gonna know to play him as
Oh,
well.
he'll be the
So
most popular,
yeah,
but I think for good reason. Like
I don't know. I do know though. So tight ends. I mean, I'd rather almost pay down at tight end. How much is Ertz the most expensive? He has to
he's
be.
4,800. Yeah.
So then below him is who? Njoku?
Cooper at 36,
Hooper.
Njoku 31, and then you get those Packers ones.
Okay. So I think I'd almost rather because if you're gonna play, so I think my thing is punting at tight end because if you're gonna play the Jonathan Taylor Adams and then one of the like top quarterbacks, which is Kyler or um,
But
Adam.
the thing is, you can play Adams, Taylor, Ertz, and Kyler or Rogers, and still, like if you with Edmonds there too. I mean, it's so easy to pay for everyone.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be really
It's
it's
gonna
gonna be a
what
fun
is I
slate.
think it's gonna come down to is like listen, if you're playing Rogers, I actually recommend playing one of Degura or Mercedes Lewis. I think if you're playing Rogers, you would do like a Rogers, Adams Lazard, a Rogers, Aaron Jones, Adams, and like Degura. I think you would play like 2 to 3. Like we've seen those Rogers games. He throws like 5 touchdowns, one to the tight end. Aaron Jones catches one. Adams has two, and they just all explode. They all have that flame emoji, and you're just like, well, this is just another one of those Rogers games.
Yeah,
And so if you're playing Rogers, I would then recommend playing Degura or Mercedes Lewis over Ertz.
yeah, I agree there. I think it's a good
But
idea.
I think the slate comes down to the punt receiver. So I want to have exposure to, I'm going to have, Antoine Wesley, Zach Pascal, T.Y. Hilton, all those guys just rotating in and out of my lineups and then mixing and matching Chubb, Jones, Dillon, and Edmonds.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I think this slate. Oh, and the defense, the Packers and the Cardinals are the Packers are my favorite, and then the Cardinals are my second favorite.
Why are the Cardinals your second favorite?
Just because I think a lot of people, one, I'm not because if I'm going to be playing a lot of Kyler, you can play Colts against Kyler, but like
Oh
it
yeah. I
usually
mean, you're negatively okay if you're playing.
yeah, it's
I
negative
understand. Yeah.
poorly, but on 2 game slates it doesn't matter as much because defensive touchdowns can just it's all you can need to win
I mean,
a
Colts have had
slate.
turnover in like every game this entire year. So I mean, they're ball hawks out there. So if you think that there's a chance for a pick six, which Kyler did throw last week against the Lions. I mean,
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna lean more to because I also don't think people that play like if they go like Kyler like I'm letting myself allow 5 Cardinals in a lineup. So if I go like Kyler, Edmonds, Ertz, AJ Green, and the defense, I think that won't be very popular. Like playing just like a onslaught almost. But I still prefer the Packers defense. I just don't think the Browns really do
Yeah.
much here in Lambeau.
Yeah. All right.
Is that what's your favorite D?
I mean, I like, the Packers. I think that's a good play because, again, I don't know how healthy the Browns are going to be, and if they are, how much practice time they've gotten. But I mean, I'm not playing Browns defense. That's just asking to get absolutely slaughtered. And then Cardinals Colts. I mean, I lean more Colts. One, I mean, I guess because I am a Colts fan, but also the way that the turnovers that they get a lot of turnovers, and turnovers wins you tournaments. And if you're strictly just playing the Cardinals because you think, I don't know, Carson Wentz, like, or whatever the game script is going to be, you think that Carson Wentz is going to be throwing the ball, then maybe play the Cardinals defense just in case you get like an interception for once. But I mean, he's only thrown four all year, so I think it's. I'd rather play a defense that I know at home, like the Packers, who, I mean, they didn't look great last week, but they've been better as of late than they have in earlier games. Or just play the Colts and expect them to get a turnover, and that could win you some points there. But I mean, again,
Yeah.
it's tough. I think Packers are going to be the most owned, obviously, and I think if you can get away from that, then do it. But again, it's very risky to.
Defense is one of the most like really you should have exposure to all of them because it's so easy for any of them to outscore another one with just sacks or a pick and the other team still win. Like it's so volatile. Last thing I'll mention before we go on to the main slate, I think one of the most negatively correlated running back plays is playing Chubb and AJ Dillon together. AJ Dillon usually sees the field when they're playing from ahead, and like that, that's when Chubb usually is not going to be having as good of a game. So I think avoid those. Like you can do it in a few lineups, but I would avoid that correlation often.
All right, that makes sense.
All right, so now we'll head on to the main Sunday slate. We've got a full one here. A lot of COVID news. Who knows what's going to change between now and
Yeah.
12 o'clock on Sunday. But, for now, we'll give out what we think are the good plays. Starting off, we have the Giants going into Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think Jake Fromm is starting this game.
Yeah.
He is, okay. So that just tells me to play the Eagles defense. And, I mean, they're the second highest expense. They're 3,600, the second most expensive defense on the slate this week. I mean, it's a rookie quarterback. You got to expect him to be, a little nervous going into his first start. He's not going to go through his progressions like a veteran quarterback would. He's going to go through one and either throw it down to a check down. So that kind of makes me like Barkley here at 6,500. If he is going to be checking the ball down, Barkley out of the backfield catching the ball, it's something to look at. I probably won't be playing much of that just because I don't like playing rookie quarterbacks in their first start, like especially against a defense that's playing pretty well. Dallas Goedert he's almost proven right now he's matchup. He's regardless of who he's playing against, he's doing well. Last two games, I know last game he had what?
He's had 100 yards.
Yeah, last two games he's had
100 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then like 130 yards and no touchdowns.
Yeah, so I mean, it's obvious that Ertz likes throwing to Goddard. Goddard gets open. Goddard's good. So I like him at 5,100 as well. Other than that, so obviously the Eagles have ran for consecutive games of 275 yards, which is absolutely absurd to think about. The only issue is who's doing it. And it's like, okay, it's Ertz.
Oh, we've been bitten so many times. I did play Miles Sanders.
I didn't play him this week, of course. I didn't play him on Tuesday, and I played Kenneth Gainwell instead. I'm like, oh, I'll get a little different here.
I just, like, with Hurts' ankle, I was really worried that he ended up getting there, and I actually had lineups where I had Sanders and Hurts, and, yeah, those did very well. But it's like he leaves the game injured. And I'm pretty sure he got banged up after this game. He's already on the injury report again.
Quadriceps.
Like he just,
in
it's
practice.
so tough to play him. Like he's the most one of the most. He hasn't scored a rushing touchdown yet this year or a receiving touchdown. It's just one of the most frustrating players you'll play in fantasy.
Like, and then why did Jordan Howard get the call over Gainwell? Like, so that's why I'm saying,
Jordan, how they brought him in, he steals like the short yardage and goal, a lot of goal line stuff now.
yeah. So it's a crapshoot over there in the backfield, and if you want to try to decipher it,
Yeah,
let us know, please, because I would like to play an Eagles running back, but I don't know who to play.
yeah.
And then pass catchers, Devontae Smith is cooled off, and he's 6K, and I don't want to pay that much. And the Giants are pretty good again in the secondary. They're not,
Bradbury will probably be on
yeah.
him.
So I'd rather play the tight end position. It's just easier.
How you
Um,
attack the Eagles every time
yeah,
when the Eagles are on a slate.
yeah. So who Ricky Seals
Ingram.
Jones didn't do anything against. I mean,
No, but
but they were
you had
yeah.
Garrett
Yeah,
Gilbert.
I know. Um, dude, I've every single week I pass over Evan Ingram's name, and I can't do it. And especially with the rookie quarterback starting, I don't want to do it.
Well, that's so rookie quarterbacks. Like I know Garrett Gilbert. Like it's because they usually like that's why Saquon and Ingram. Like I'm consider. Like I won't play a lot of them.
No, no, exactly.
Um,
Because they don't go through their progression and they look for a check
yeah,
down
like I
very
won't play
quickly.
any of the Giants receivers.
Yeah, and then
But I do. I think Saquon, man. Like sometimes I've watched some of his games, and he just like it looks like he's about to explode for like just a long 60-yard touchdown, and then he gets stopped like by his ankle like the last second. He had that nasty catch, that
one-handed catch.
one-handed.
Yeah,
That was what like I think he still has some of that juice, and I don't know. I could just. I think he's gonna break a long one here soon, like
I
to
feel
end
like
the
you said that
season.
last 4 weeks. You say
No,
it
I
in
haven't. He
yeah. I
wasn't even
think
back the last four. I
I
said that last week. I said that last week
no.
um, against the Cowboys. But I don't know. I think I could see one ending and then announcers are like, "Oh, is he back?" Like, and then everyone's hyped up on him again next year. I could just see that happening. So yeah, I really only you know, a second divisional games usually lower scoring, so I don't really want to play the quarterbacks. Hertz is always in cash game consideration because of his one, he's low priced, and because of what he does on the ground. He's like points per game, he's been the number one quarterback in
Yeah,
fantasy.
yeah, and
So
I
it's such a safe play.
he is. All right,
But yeah, that's it for that
yeah.
game.
Let's move
Kind
on
of
to the
just
next one.
yep. Rams going into Minnesota. Already COVID news of his broke. Dalvin Cook will not be playing. Possibility he won't be playing next week either because he's not vaccinated. So
So wait,
I don't think
why is this news came out today that he got put on COVID list? Why is Madison?
they're pricing backups, especially the valuable backups like Pollard, Madison, already. So you can't just get like a free play. Pretty much, they're trying to make you think about it.
I was surprised. I just opened that up and I was surprised. I'm like, why is Madison 6,800? Well, it makes sense now. And I don't. I like Madison. The Rams' defensive line has not been the same as of past. So do I like him a lot at 6,800? I mean, I wish he was cheaper, obviously, because I think there's other ways to go different in the running back position. I do think this is going to be a very high scoring game, though. I don't think the defense is.
Yeah,
Man. So I like Madison. I mean, I love Justin Jefferson and I love Cooper Cup. I mean, I think obviously it's like you say that, like, yeah, of course you like them. They're the most expensive plays, but I mean, Cooper Cup, we've literally just learned that he's.
now they're chasing records too. So there's that whole narrative in play now. It's like they know what like Stafford would love to have the both records, like both receivers. You just know in these last couple of games, especially when it's a good matchup, it's not even like he's just forced. It's like he's force feeding him because he has a great match. The Vikings are so bad against receivers.
Yeah, he's very.
Like and it's not like it's not like they can really like triple team him because they still have Van and Odell, like which teams still like have some respect for. So it's like what are you gonna do? Like you're still gonna have Cooper Cup get like 12 plus targets again.
Yeah, and
He's
I mean,
projected for like 28 fantasy points. I said this last week. I said, like, this was he was going to originally be on the Saturday slate, and I was like, I don't know, like, or no, he was going to be on the Sunday slate because this was our favorite game.
yeah,
Remember? And we
hmm
had to pivot off of all of our plays.
yeah, we
And
did.
I was like, how do you not play this guy? He was projected for six more points than Devontae Adams. He
Yeah,
is
it's
again this week.
crazy.
He's projected for six more points than Devontae Adams.
I mean, you have to play him. I mean, if you don't play him,
You
I
play him
mean,
in cash games 100%.
yeah,
There's always reasons to fade someone in tournaments,
yeah.
but
That's what I was saying. Like cash games, like you play him and you just
yeah.
you
Even Justin, do you know what's crazy? Justin Jefferson is actually the second highest projected receiver over Adams.
that's great. And he's 8 points less than Cooper Cup's projection.
Well, no, and what the projections I'm looking at is like Justin Jefferson's projected for 25, Cooper Cup's projected for 28.
Oh, okay. Um,
So they're really close. So like this game, like if you're trying to just get like if you think this one shoots out, like it's not, you can go. I would go Stafford Cup and then run it back with. I would go probably Stafford Cup and then one of Odell or Van and then run it back with Madison or Jefferson, and I just mix and match that a
yeah.
hundred different ways.
So okay, so if Thielen misses, I don't think he's going to. I think he
Oh yeah,
plays.
Thielen, I forgot about that.
He's at 6,900. I think
He
he
comes back,
plays.
Jefferson's projection comes down.
Yeah, but then that kind of like if he's not in, I like Osborne as well. He's looked good. He's 4,800. So just again, keep an eye with COVID news. You never know who's going in, who's going out. So keep an eye on things because DraftKings can't go back now and reprice things. So
Yeah.
if the COVID bug hits the team very hard, take a look and make sure that you wait until like Saturday night, Sunday morning before you put lineups in because there's been COVID news every day this week, so just looking out for that. Other than that, I don't like tight ends here. Higby maybe, but I think you can go somewhere else with tight ends.
Yeah, literally, that's my player pool, and that game is very condensed.
Yeah,
It's obvious plays to me,
yeah.
and then
Conklin
you,
hasn't done anything all year, so
yeah, and then you like if you're stacked in that game, then you play like really low owned other plays in the rest of your lineup
yep.
if you're going to eat the chalk with that game. Um, Next game we have Buffalo going into New England. I'm going to say it already. I right now have canceled. There is not a single player from this game I will play.
Really,
Not a single
it
one.
needs to be a low scoring game again.
Yes.
I mean, I could see that. I mean, like a 21-14 game or something, or 21-17 game.
Yeah, I
Um,
think like three field goals on each team, you know, just I don't know, run heavy. Well, Buffalo doesn't really run that much, but like New England's D is good, a lot of punts. Like I am fading this game 100%. Won't have a single play.
yeah, if anything, I'm playing. If I'm playing this game, which I haven't made a decision on yet, because it's. I mean, I have a couple of days here, but Diggs, with the receiving core the way it is, Beasley's missing. So then you get Gabe Davis at 4,700, and then you can even get where's
Manuel Sanders.
where's Manny Sanders at?
He's like in the low 4K range.
He's not. I
Probably.
mean, what?
He's okay. I'll let you know. He is.
Dude, he's below 4K.
He's 4K.
No, there he is 4K. So maybe I mean he hasn't done anything all year, Sanders. So I lean Gabe Davis there at 4,700. And I like Hunter Henry as well. I know the Bills are pretty good against tight ends, but he's obviously the number one target for Mac Jones, and he is he's good at what he's doing, and he's scoring touchdowns. He's below 5K after coming off like a 20-point game. 2 touchdowns, close to 100 yards receiving. So I like Hunter Henry, especially down the goal line. If Damian Harris is missing, I don't know if he's going to. He has a hamstring injury, so it's always a little iffy there. But yeah, the only plays I really like is like Josh Allen and then like Gabe Davis and Hunter Henry is like the only couple plays I like. I think
Yeah.
paying up for Stephon Diggs is too much this week. 7,600 and it's supposed to be like a
Yeah,
range.
for me, it's just there's so many games on a slate. There's some games that I just fade. Like I don't like.
Yeah.
I'd rather just find plays in like games that are gonna be higher scoring. Like
Yep.
I'll probably make a rule where I'm playing one of that Rams Vikings. I think I have to have a play from there.
Mm-hmm.
So like sometimes that's how you have to play these larger slates. You just fade games completely.
All right.
Next game, we have Tampa going into Carolina. I have a few plays basically because the targets have really condensed in Tampa, and we have a backup running back that is now 5.1K. That's going to be like pretty much the workhorse, but there's ways to him failing as well. So I don't know. This is an interesting game. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. Dude, Tyler Johnson at 3,900. for the Bucks.
Yeah, definitely. I'll only because like AB is coming back for sure, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And if Evans does not play, I would consider Tyler Johnson. If Evans plays, I would not play Tyler Johnson.
I like him more if Evans plays because people are gonna be off of him even more, and he's the slot. I
But
mean, he's
I
gonna be the.
think it'll be Perriman, Brown, and Evans.
Oh, I forgot about Perriman's there.
Yeah, he kind of came in and so
He was a healthy scratch though a couple weeks ago. Like he came in, he played on Monday night, and then the following week he was a healthy scratch. So,
I
but
think he'll.
he's got COVID-19 right now.
Oh, well, yeah,
He
maybe.
could return. So again, there's so many COVID news that you don't really know. So I mean, I don't.
What are you doing about Ronald Jones? In cash games, I think you're playing him.
I think so, but the issue is with Ronald Jones is who's you can't even pick Lev Bell yet. um, if he fump,
I think he's
he
like I think he's a strong, not strong. Like I think he's a viable tournament fade, and the reason
yeah,
being is he misses pass protections so much, and Brady like he'll
Bruce
just
Arians puts
he'll
him
just be
in.
like you're done, like you're riding the bench the rest of the game.
Yeah, Bruce Arians puts him in the doghouse faster than anyone else.
Like, could you
Um,
imagine? Like, you can just totally see this, where people just played Ronald Jones in cash games. You do it because he might be like 80% owned. So if he gets zero, he doesn't kill you because everyone else is playing him too. But in tournaments, you have people that are just locking him in there. You turn on the game. First drive, you see Ronald Jones completely miss a blitz and just Brady just gets sacked straight into the ground. Next play, there it's like second and long. He checks it down to him, he drops it. Like you're just like, if you play Ronald Jones at that point, you're just like regretting every decision.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like
He might
if
just get benched.
yo, no, he gets benched all the time, especially because he also has had fumble issues. So I rather go elsewhere in tournaments if I'm playing running backs. I know he's cheap, and he's a starting running
And it's
back.
not that great of a matchup.
Yeah, it's not. It's really not. But so Vaughn, he. It's funny to say this, but like I know Lev Bell sucks and he's washed and whatever. But like if Jones gets benched, Vaughn is a rookie who again, or he's not a rookie, he's a second year, but he doesn't have much experience, so they could literally ride the back of an experienced running back. I'm not saying play Lev Bell. He's the greatest play, and he's going to be back to his normal self because that's probably not going to happen. Because if that was true, he would stayed in Baltimore and wouldn't be on the players. But I'm just saying, as an option for
They might trust him more for like pass protection or something. Like,
yeah. I mean, he's not going to know the playbook, so that's the other issue. And Brady would
yeah, it's tough
yeah.
to play.
I'm really just
It's going to be very interesting. I think he's a stronger tournament fade
yeah.
for running backs, especially. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's just one of those plays that it's just he's not like one of those like Madison at 5K when Dalvin Cook's out. Like he's just a lock and load. Like he has many paths to failure.
Yeah.
Last time Fournette was out, he had a couple good games, but there's been times when he even plays two downs, but then it was like Kenjon Barner came in and played every third down thing. That hurts you a lot, even at 5K.
Yeah.
So he's a better tournament fade. What about okay? Let's say Evans.
I think Evans misses.
Sits. You think he misses?
I think
So
he
Evans
misses.
sits. What are you doing with AB at 4,900?
I'm playing him. I am seriously playing him because Brady was.
He would be
looks-
projected for I think 20 plus fantasy points if Evans sits.
Oh, yeah, easily. But he's gonna be the highest owned receiver on the slate because
Yeah.
you could see how frustrated Brady was with his rookies and not rookie receivers, but receivers that don't play very often.
Yeah, he would get. I mean, if Brady throws the ball 40 times, I don't know. Okay, let's say Gronk gets 10. Let's say AB gets 10. Like, that's only 20 pass attempts. We know it passes more than 20 of the balls. Let's say Tyler Johnson gets 6, Perriman 3, or vice versa. That's up to 29 pass attempts. OJ Howard 1 or 2, Brait 1 or 2. Like it's like there's no pass to where I don't see how Antonio Brown wouldn't get 10 plus, 12 plus targets.
Yeah. And Brady trusts him. So that's the other thing. If Brady doesn't trust you, you ain't getting the ball from him. And I think these receivers last
Panthers are against tight ends, and they might be able to just take Gronk out. Like that, I could see that being like the Panthers like game plan. Like they're depleted at receiver. We know he loves going to Gronk. We're just taking him out, and I think they could just eliminate Gronk from the game if they
Yeah.
wanted.
Yep.
And then
And
AB or one of these receivers gets pepper. I think Evans being in mixes things up, but I think even if he's in, AB would still be like one of the strongest receiver plays.
yeah, and then for the Panthers side, I don't really trust anyone. Cam Newton can't throw the ball. They already said Sam Darnold might be playing some in this game as well.
Yeah,
And
I
so
can't. I was considering Cam like just because, even though I hate his play, like if he runs the ball, he's scored a rushing touchdown like 5 games.
yeah, but that's all he does, and he throws 4 picks and almost eliminates that rushing touchdown that he
Yeah,
has.
Bucks
So
defense is in play here.
yeah, I consider it for sure. I would. All right, let's move on to this gross game because I don't think there's many play. There's like a couple plays for this next one.
Yeah, there's
Jacksonville.
actually, yeah, I like a few plays, not many, but
Jacksonville against the Jets. James Robinson is probably the best running back on the slate. I think the Jets are so bad
it's
against
tough
running.
enough for him.
He is questionable, but is his knee. He kind of failed this last week, if I do recall. He went
Well, he actually was in the Millie Maker winner.
1875 touchdown, 3 receptions for 13
Yeah,
yards.
because he was only 5K.
Yeah, so he's 5,900, and now he faces the worst rush defense. I think he's a great play at where he is. I mean, what other plays do you have here? Because
I mean, he's the best play.
yeah,
I think, like, just because I think tight end's a little ugly, like I'm considering O'Shaughnessy just as a punt tight end,
Okay.
like just a little exposure, and then the defenses like Jets and Jags both in play.
yeah. I guess that's not a bad play. I prefer Jets more than, or the Jags more than Jets. In my opinion, I think.
Yeah, I'd probably slightly prefer the Jags, but like I'll play a little of both.
Yeah, but other than that, don't play quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's just they're not. You can't trust them. We
Yeah, I
give
played
them their
Lawrence off
opportunity.
and on this year, but it's so tough. Like
Yeah.
they're just much weaker against the run, and so I'll play that.
All right, let's go to the next gross game.
Next, we have Detroit going into Atlanta. I think there's a few plays here.
There is.
This is like when you have two, like even if they're bad teams, really on their defenses are bad, but their offenses sometimes are capable enough where you can see one of those really bad teams, but it turns into a shootout. Like this is, I think, the candidate for that game.
Yeah.
Like where it could just be, the defenses are just playing like garbage. But there's at least some offensive firepower on both sides. Amon Ra has come on.
Yeah,
as
but
of recent.
Jared Goff's missing.
Oh, is he missing for sure?
He's got COVID. So he tested positive for COVID on Monday. He says, I'm feeling good.
Oh, it's freaking Tim Boyle?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's what I'm saying. So if he does miss,
Yeah.
which he probably will. So then you got either Tim Boyle or David Blau, which if David Blau is in, I might have one lineup with David Blau as my starting quarterback.
Well, yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. Goff is definitely better than those guys, but it's not. I still think this could just be one of those ugly team but higher scoring games. I like Matt Ryan between all the quarterbacks. Like even if Goff was in, I preferred Matt Ryan. So like he's 5.4K.
Yeah.
And
Kyle
and
Pitts.
you can do like a either a Gage Pitts stack and then run it back with. You could do a Gage Pitts and run it back with like DeAndre Swift, which he's playing, right?
He's questionable still.
I think he's coming back.
He was limited this week, so I think he does play, but
Or you do like a Matt Ryan, Cordero Patterson Gage, or a Matt Ryan, Cordero Patterson Pitts, and then run it back with like Amon Ra or Josh Reynolds.
I like the second one better. I'm not going to trust Russell Gage this week. I think he's going to be really popular, and
how expensive is he now? He's up there.
He's 5,900. So that's the
I
reason why
prefer Pitts. If he's going to be popular, if he's going to be like one of the most popular receivers. I love Patterson and Pitts. Mainly
that's
Pitts.
That's what I'm saying. I like that stack
Pitts
better.
Is the same is $100 cheaper, and you get to play him at a premium position at tight end. And if he separates himself, which he's done twice this year, where he's blown the slate, and against the Lions,
yeah, I almost use him as a flex position as well. Do you really think about that?
I don't. On big slates, I don't really like going double tight end.
I understand it's very different, but and then yeah,
Tight
Josh
end's kind of
Reynolds.
ugly
I
this
don't like
week.
Amon St. Brown. I mean, he's coming on 5,600 though for a quarterback for a receiver that could be getting the ball from Tim Boyer or David Blau. Like that's way too much money. I'm not doing that. Not going to spend it. So I think the plays here are Pitts, Patterson. I guess you can play Gage if you really want to, but
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I now that looking at the price that he's gonna be popular, I'll just easily fade that, and I'll just go to Pitts and
yeah,
or Daryl Thompson.
yep. All right.
Um,
Then this next game is kind of
and I think the defenses are fine in that game as well. They're cheap. They're 2.6K, and we know both those they pass a lot, which is what you want playing a defense
yeah.
because you get more opportunity for a pick six.
Yeah,
So
and Atlanta's secondary is not that bad either. So,
yeah,
next game is the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to the Houston decimated COVID Texans. Um,
yeah,
this game might get moved. I I
oh
could
yeah,
see I
correct.
could see it might not because there's no playoff implications for Houston. I mean, for Houston at least, but for the Chargers there is. I hope it gets moved because I have Austin Eckler and I need Eckler to play my fantasy team this week.
Yeah, but that brings us to if they stay on the slate, the backup.
Justin Jackson at 4,200 is going to be the most popular running back on the slate by
You said
far.
that about James Robinson, but I think
This is it. And
yeah, it would probably, I think, as the week went on, once it's like official he's out, people are going to see that against Houston and just know like they're going to be playing from ahead this game. It's like they could just lean on Jackson this whole game.
yeah, and
Um,
he,
if you play, this is when like game theory and leverage comes in. If you were to fade Justin Jackson, like in like a tournament or something, doing like the passing side, like what's Justin Jackson's path to failure? It's Herbert going for 4 touchdowns
yeah.
and Jackson getting to like, 12 fantasy points to where, for a cash game, it's fine. But for a tournament, you're dead.
Oh yeah,
And so
you're
that's like
screwed.
a little leverage spot. I don't know if I'm going to go there because I just like some other quarterbacks, but like you could totally see like, Mike Williams have one of his like 2 touchdown games and
Yeah,
then Allen maybe one and Jared Cook one.
yeah, yeah. I like your thinking there. It's hard to get away from Justin Jackson at 4,200, and I understand what you're talking like the leverage play and getting off of him and not playing him. But if you don't play him, and I mean against the Chiefs, he looked very well. I mean he looked very good. He went 13 of 86 and a touchdown. I mean, and that was like splitting with Austin Eckler, and Austin Eckler probably really shouldn't have been playing that game. So if he even had a full load, it would have been probably a bigger score line for him. So at 4,200, I think you have to play him. You're going to be playing him in cash because he's
Yeah,
cheap and
probably cash.
you can
Yeah.
fill he gets filled in. You can fill in more, but I like Justin Herbert here as well, and pairing up with
It's tough though. I don't know because if Brandon Cooks was playing, you could like consider a run back, but this is one of those games. Like I always talk about bring backs. I don't think you necessarily because this
no,
could just be an onslaught where Chargers win 30-10, where you want Chargers but no Texans, so you could get away with like a Herbert, Mike Williams, Jared Cook, and no Texans.
yeah, I totally agree. And Chargers defense at 3,400 is play. Though Joey Bosa is probably going to miss this game, but there's still it's the Texans without their best receiving option in Brandon Cook. So I think you could play them there. So do you have any more plays from here? Everything we
No, I think what I'm really going to do in this game, because I don't know if I'm necessarily going to do the Herbert thing, but we talk about secondary correlations. Well, we don't talk about it much, but in addition to your like I don't know what your favorite quarterback play on the slate is, but like let's say it was Lamar. I'm just throwing out a random one,
mm-hmm.
and you stack up that game. A lot of times you want to still have a secondary stack in another game. And so like if you like the Chargers because of their team total, it's almost 30 points. You could do Justin Jackson and Mike Williams in your lineup, and basically you're saying you're capturing all the touchdowns in the Chargers game with just those two guys. So I think this is going to be one of my favorite teams to do like a secondary correlation with Justin Jackson and one of the receivers.
It's just gonna be so hard when you're filling out your rosters this week not to click on his name because of how much he saves you and how much you can get at other positions.
I think it's a 3 running back week.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go over that when we go through our we build up our lineup. Next game is probably the most popular in my opinion.
Really?
I think so. Baltimore at
Oh, I guess
Cincinnati.
it is kind of an ugly. It'll be the yeah. No, the Vikings game has to be right.
Uh, I I don't know. I
I
think
think I think Vikings, Rams, and now that I'm looking at it, yeah, this will be the second most. But I don't think this can beat up that.
we'll see. So plays from here. Um, Quarterbacks. Everyone's looking to see if Lamar's going to be playing. I think he does play because this is a game they have to win. He's down to 6,900. That's
Yeah,
absolutely bonkers for a guy who could put up, the stat line of like two passing touchdowns and two rushing touchdowns on like 100 yards rushing. That's crazy. So at 6,900, I mean, obviously if he's full go, you play him. I think this is a place. Trust me. I purely don't think Justin Jackson or Lamar Jackson is a good quarterback. He's a good fantasy quarterback, and he puts up points. And I know this is a divisional game, and both teams, the last time they played, the freaking Bengals stomped all over the Ravens, and it was not even a contest. But I don't think that's going to happen this game. So I like Lamar Jackson at 6,900. He might be my favorite quarterback play of the week if he goes, because getting a quarterback like that under 7K is pretty rare. Joe Burrow at 5,900. It's a look. If you think this game's going to be a shootout, which it very well could be, that's probably one of the better quarterbacks to play. Especially, you can get him for, that stack of him and Jamar Chase, for 16K is pretty crazy to think about. But I don't know. And Mark Andrews, dude, I mean, he's to the point where his last couple games, I haven't played him very often, and I've gotten crushed by him. But you got to look at him for what he's been doing. But 7K for a tight end is kind of crazy to think about. But what are you thinking here, peeps?
yeah. I mean, now that the more I look at the slate, yeah, this will definitely be tied for like it'll be in the top two for like the games people stack up the most. Yeah, I like Lamar and Joe Burrow are definitely some of my favorite quarterbacks on the slate from what we've talked about. So far it's been Stafford, um, Matt Ryan, super cheap, and then these two are like so far out of all the games. Like I love Lamar and Joe Burrow. I really want to see what they say about his mobility, like if it's going to be
Yeah.
limited because I think the Bengals defense is actually pretty solid. So if you're telling me Lamar is at 6,900 and he's mainly just going to pass, then I'm going to play a lot more Joe Burrow. But if he's like full go, he's just, then yeah, Lamar at 6,900 is one of the cheapest you'll ever get him.
Mm-hmm.
And, it is the second divisional game, and usually those can be a little lower scoring than the first time they play. But I just think the price tags and that Ravens defense is really beat up. So I prefer the passing attack of like I love doing double stacks with Joe Burrow. I always double stack him because he doesn't offer any rushing upside. So, I like, Chase is my favorite one to pair with him, obviously, and then one of Boyd or Higgins to go with him. And I think my favorite Raven is actually, I know Mark Andrews has been popular, but he's up to 7K.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't really like paying for tight ends that much, unless his name's Travis Kelsey.
Or Kittle at times, I think.
But
But Kelsey might not play. Kittle's not on the slate. Andrews has been playing incredibly. I just would rather go to Marquise Brown at 5.8, who he got 14 targets last week. I know it was Huntley, but even when Lamar's in, like he looks at him all the time. I mean, last time they played, he had 20 fantasy points.
And they got smoked. So
yeah, and they got so they were playing from behind, but yeah, this one obviously should be closer. I doubt it's like a blowout this time.
yeah,
But I like this game in general from stacking. I like the passing attacks of both more than
the rushing. Yeah, I don't want to. You
running
don't
backs.
play running backs for Baltimore. You don't know who's going to do it.
And Mixon just hasn't been catching the ball. and the Ravens are so depleted. I just see Joe Burrow throwing a lot more.
Yeah, but
And he's a good price, 5.9.
yeah,
That's a
it's
really good
crazy.
price tag on him. But yeah, this is definitely a game where and when you're playing Lamar, you don't have to double stack. I only
Mm,
single stack with him.
yeah,
I would do Lamar, Marquise Brown, and run it back with one of the Bengals receivers. That's how I'd play that side. So I think Uzoma. I forgot. I didn't even include him. I like Uzoma a little bit at 3K.
okay.
So going like Jamar Chase, Uzoma to cheapen your stack and run it back with Marquise Brown. But yeah, I like that game a lot. Next game we have Chicago going into Seattle. There's a few plays I think, but
Yeah, I
not a
mean,
whole
I
lot.
like Montgomery at 5,700.
Yeah, he's my favorite from this game.
Yeah, I don't. I refuse to play DK Metcalf again. This
I can't refuse to play him. Like he's one of those players that like I just know it's coming, and I refuse to sit there on my couch. I refuse to be the one after playing him just every week and just watching him just catch that 40-yard touchdown in the first quarter on the opening drive, and I'm just
well, there.
you know it's coming.
I mean, I guess he went
I mean,
six
there's
for.
not many games left, so maybe it doesn't come. But like, I can't be that one. I won't do it. I
He's
refuse.
gone over 100 yards one time this entire year.
I get it. I get it.
His
But
his last like 8 games: 26, 31, 13, 60, 43, 52.
it's not like I'm playing a lot of him. I just
I
can't
know.
just not look at a lineup where I have at least him in it
I know.
and just have faded him completely.
I understand. I mean, Tyler Lockett's gonna be back this game though, so
Yeah, I like playing either one of them. But
yeah.
of course, I'm gonna lean
I'm not
Metcalf.
playing. I'm not playing Rashard Penny. The Bears are pretty good at getting against
Yeah,
the
no, I'm
run.
not.
But I think my favorite play is gonna be Montgomery. I don't even know what the pricing is for the quarterbacks. What are we looking here?
They're at 6-1 for Russ, and Fields is at 5-2.
Fields is at 5-2. I mean,
He's in my player pool just because of
yeah.
his
What's
ability.
what's freaking Mooney at?
He's you know what's crazy? What Allen
5,400.
Robinson's at?
Al Robinson's 4K. That's ridiculous.
I can't play like
I can't. You
Mooney.
can't play him.
No, I will. I will play some Robinson
He's got
this week if he's
COVID.
back. What?
He's got COVID.
No, I think he'll be back. He was on it.
Oh,
Well,
he
he
was
didn't
on it.
play.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna play like 9.2K for a Fields Robinson stack and a DK Metcalf or Lockett run back. Whew. I will have some of that. That's for sure.
His last game he played.
I know. I just can't. Robinson is so good, and I just refuse to
It'd be
exclude him from
exciting
my.
to see him next
We
year on a good
have to
team.
look at this. What are other 4K receivers? I just have to like. This is when I look at it. There's no way I'm going to scroll through and play. Well, I guess some of these this week in particular are viable because it's could be without Tyreek and Kelsey, but Hardman and Pringle are in play. But what are some of the ones I excluded around here? Like Khalif Raymond, Sammy Watkins, Emmanuel Sanders, Laviska Shenault, this Darius Slayton. These are players. Now we're getting to players more expensive than Robinson. Tim Patrick, Rashad Bateman, Sterling. Like, there's no way I'm playing those guys over Allen Robinson at 4K. I don't. I know he hasn't done much, but I think I just can't play that talented of a receiver at that price.
Well, you
Not.
can play him. I'm gonna wait till next year to play him when he's actually on the team and utilized.
Oh yeah, I won't. This is just when I
Ah,
have him in my player pool. I'm not like. I think he'll be like 1% owned. If I played 5%, I'd be 5 times over the field on him. So that's probably what I'll do. But yeah, that's kind of. I don't think I'll play the quarterback. So it'll just be kind of. These will be like some of my one-off plays. Well, if I'm playing Fields, yeah, I'm gonna have pass catcher with Metcalf. But I
yeah,
don't know. Cole Kmet at 3-3 is fine for
yeah.
tight end.
I don't. I like Cole Kmet. I think he's solid. I mean, talent wise,
He's been looking at him a lot.
yeah. So I like him as well.
He's gotten what is he's gotten 9 targets, 7, 11, 8. So yeah, I mean for that price, that's pretty good for
Yeah,
tight ends.
yeah. I'll definitely play him for sure.
Yeah.
But
So
all right,
we
let's.
only have a few more games left. I'm starting to realize, actually looking at the totals of every game, there's not like some like shootout games. Really, it's the Vikings Rams, which I think is the shootout. And then the next closest one, I guess, is that Baltimore Cincy game.
Yeah,
But
could be.
I don't necessarily know if that'll even be a shootout. But
It may not.
we have Pittsburgh going into Arrowhead. This could be one of those Big Ben just, sometimes he plays terribly on the road. And is this that spot?
This is their Super Bowl here. I mean, they have this. If they don't win this game, they're out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I know that.
So I think there's a lot riding on the line here. With that being said, though, fantasy value. I mean, if you are gonna if Tyreek and Kelsey miss this game, I mean, you getting McCole Hardman at 33. What is he?
35.
35. Bryson or yeah, Byron Pringle at 33. Josh Gordon at 31.
I don't know about Gordon. I think you would play one of Hardman or Pringle. In Robinson would be like the next. I think Gordon would be like fourth on that list.
Yeah. Yeah, and then running backs. I mean, Clyde Edwards at 58.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Do they rely more, or like, do they run the ball more?
But he splits again. We've talked about this numerous times. Like Williams comes in and snakes it, and
Yeah,
he's 4,600, so it's a look at. But dude, Chase Claypool all the way down to 5,100 is crazy to think about. It really is. But again, the Chiefs' defenses look good. They've been pretty good the last couple weeks, and they get back.
Well, what are your thoughts on Tyreek or Kelsey? Do you think they miss? Do you think one of them misses?
I think one of them misses. I think Hill misses.
Kelsey that misses.
I think Kelsey comes back because Kelsey was placed on Monday, and he's vaccinated. They don't know if Tyreek Hill's vaccinated or not. The NFL, well, the NFL knows, but
That would make me like the receivers more, because I think that Pittsburgh Steelers will just focus on eliminating Kelsey, and then it'll free up a lot for like Hardman or Pringle.
yeah,
That's kind of my thought.
yeah. Deontay Johnson at 7,500. I mean, he's almost proven that he's worth his salary each week.
Yeah, target share.
But the thing is, people at his price tag, and I think people may be looking away from him, and just going elsewhere, and maybe going down to Claypool. 51 for Claypool is crazy to think about. I mean,
Yeah,
I understand he's kind of been like a bum this entire year, but I mean, he has the capability of putting up huge games. So
I wouldn't even say a bum. I mean, if you look at I'll go through. He hasn't caught that touchdown, but 8 catches for 93 yards, 3 catches for 82 yards, 5 catches for 93 yards.
I know he's a deep threat, and Big Ben at least throws it up one time to him a game, and if he catches it and scores,
If some touchdown regression has gone Claypool's way this year, he would be in this upper 6K price range if he just caught a few touchdowns, and everyone would look at him much different.
Yeah, and I mean Patrick Mahomes 7,700. If Kelsey and Hill miss, I don't like him just because.
I think to play Mahomes, I think you want one of them in.
Yeah, but that's true. I just don't trust the other receivers, and I don't know what's going to happen. Big Ben at 5,500, I can't do it. I did it last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, and it didn't pan out. And I mean, anyway, you could have guessed that. Yeah, there's other ways to go. So,
that's kind of my thought, is just some of the cheap Chiefs receivers. Honestly, I think Cole Hardman is going to be more popular, and if that's the case, I just go Pringle, because.
But the thing is,
I think Hardman just has a little more name value for some reason, and Pringle has actually been playing a lot more. But I think Hardman really takes on the Tyreek role, and Pringle kind of keeps his role, but he might just get fed more targets than he usually does.
Yeah, the thing is that McCole Hardman has lost his spot on that team. His snap share count has gone.
Yeah,
but I understand. Yeah, but Hill and Kelsey are missing. I'm just saying in the grand scheme of things, like throughout the year, he's been bad.
If Tyreek was out, McCole Hardman, I think, would become like pretty near 100% snaps.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I don't mind the Chiefs' defense at 3,500, I guess, either. But
yeah, that's it for me.
All right, let's finish this slate off. We thought this would be a fast episode, and here we are, an hour and 4 minutes into it, and we're finishing up. So next game is Denver.
We had a Saturday slate though too.
Yeah, that's true. So we got Denver traveling to the Las Vegas Raiders. Teddy B is out. Drew Lock is in. What do you like here?
Well, this should make it quick. I like Noah Fant and the defenses.
I
I play I just like I play tight ends against the Eagles. The Raiders are like the next team that I always will play the tight end against. Noah Fant, I think this was his game, and I did play him when they played the Raiders last time, and he went for it was his best game of the year. Yeah, 9 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown.
yeah, and he's 4,900 or
And Drew
4,400.
Lock, I feel like targeted him more. Like I don't know, it felt like
I think
when Lock played.
Drew Lock gives him a better throwing option than Teddy B.
Yes, I agree, and I think Locke targeted him. Like when everyone was like high on Fan, I think that's when Drew Lock was playing.
Yeah,
So I think it's even a better. Like Fant is actually one of my favorite. He might Pitts and Fant are my favorite tight end plays of the week for sure.
yeah, I totally agree with you there.
Yeah, I love Pitts and Fant. They're going to be in my main tournament lineups. So yeah,
I can't share my screen to put up a lineup for us. So I'll just
well, we have to do. I guess we'll just run through conviction plays, then do that.
yeah. So all right, you start off.
All right, I'll start off. Whew, man, quarterback. Man, it's really hard not to pick Lamar if he's in. All right, if Lamar plays, I'm going with Lamar. If he sits, I'm going to go Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan. I was choosing Lamar too, but if he doesn't play, I like Stafford in the game that we think it's going to be a shootout.
Yeah,
He's at 6,700 and he's throwing the ball at Cooper Cup, so you got to expect at least 2 touchdowns there. So, all right, running backs.
Running back, let's you start this time.
Jeez, I mean, it's got to be Justin Jackson. If with the amount of work he's going to get at his price tag, 4,200, I think it's a must play. So Justin Jackson.
I'm going to go. I think James Robinson. I just the Jets are so bad.
Yeah, and I guess a second one since Nick and Alex are not here. For the Bears, David Montgomery, 5,700 against the Saints or against the Seahawks. I like him as well.
Now that I look at it, like it's not like I'm convicted. Like I'm talking about. Remember how we discussed if it's a 3 running back week or a 4 wide receiver week. There actually are a decent amount of receivers I like. So actually, I take that back. I think I'm gonna have like 50% of my running back in flex and then 50% of receiver in flex. I'm not gonna make a decision one way or the other. I think there's a lot of pass to some of these running backs failing.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Even Justin Jackson, like I know it's but
yeah.
like Joshua Kelly even gets some time in there. Miles Sanders banged up always. If Seattle gets a lead, Montgomery could fail, and then some of these I don't know. I don't think you don't have to play 3 running backs, so I take that back. Okay, wide receiver. There's some really good receiver plays actually. Now that they might be a 4 wide receiver week.
We're going back to it.
I feel like a lot of them.
You go with your favorite one because I'm looking.
Yeah,
right
I'm kind of scrolling through. So, man, I think. Okay, so I'm just gonna go. I want to say Metcalf. But I'll just say so expensive. I'm going Cooper Cup because I think they're chasing this record right now, and it's just so hard for him not to get there. So expensive Cooper Cup. Oh, I mean Antonio Brown's sitting right there, but he's gonna be chalky. But I also, if Evans is out, Antonio Brown has got to be it. At 5K, it's just his path to failure is pretty small.
I know we're literally on the same 2 people here, so I'm gonna go.
They're gonna be so high owned.
I know they are.
But Metcalf's I think my favorite leverage tournament play.
I'm gonna go with your boy Jamar Chase. I know we really didn't touch on him that much.
I was debating between him too and Marquise Brown. It's a 4 wide receiver week. Take it back. I think people are gonna get on that chalky.
It just shows you that if we're talking about we didn't even discuss who our conviction or favorite plays were, and we literally had just talked about the four same receivers. But all right, let's move on.
Well, no, I don't actually know. So Jamar Chase, I actually do not think will be that popular. Like people are going to look at his box scores and be like, I'm not playing him at his price at all. So Jamar Chase will be a very good tournament play, and Metcalf. I know you're not on him, but he will be very low owned as well.
I know I just can't do. It's like Miles Sanders again. This is gonna be a week where I don't play him. He's gonna kill me. So,
Yeah.
all right, tight
Oh,
ends.
tight end.
I like Kyle Pitts at 5,800. If you're gonna go down to a lower one, um, who was it?
Mine was Noah Fant.
Yours was Noah Fant.
So
Okay.
well,
I like Hunter Henry
Kyle
too.
Pitts and Noah Fant for me. Like those are my favorite two.
Yeah. Pitts. I know Hunter Henry has a tough matchup. I just his usage is so high, and I think he gets there. So, but yeah. So let's move to a. You want me to build a lineup here, or just
Yeah. Sure.
I just won't. You won't be able to see it. So,
Why can't you share your screen?
because I'm not the host.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So it's just gonna be you and me talking. So I mean, you can see it.
I thought you were recording your screen.
I am, but it's I don't have. You can't see my line. Like you right now. What do you see?
You.
Yeah, exactly. I can't share my screen.
Oh, your web.
I'm
Okay.
screen
Yeah,
recording.
sorry, I was okay. I
Yeah.
got you.
So let's do here classic. We're going.
I'll build it on my phone,
Yeah.
and then you just flash the lineup at the screen when it's done. But I'll build it on the phone with you.
All right. So we got 11 games here on the slate. All right. Who are we throwing at quarterback?
All right. Well, I mean, I think the one we both agreed on was Lamar. Gosh, it's gonna be another week where he's ruled out, and then our lineup's just already busted. But we'll just go Lamar for now.
Okay. If we're doing Lamar, then I think we go down to 5,900. We get up Hollywood Brown, right?
Yep, that's what I would do. And then
do you just want to fill in running backs right now?
Well, no, we need which Bengal run back? Is it just Chase?
I
right?
mean, I think it's Chase.
Okay, yeah, Chase. So we have Lamar,
Brown, Chase. Okay.
Brown, Chase. All right. Well, tight end. Are we gonna go Pitts? We both like Pitts, but let's see what I mean. That leaves us 44, 48.
I think we go Noah Fant here.
Noah Fant in this
Yeah.
one. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, we do need to get. Well, we have to get a piece of that Vikings Rams game, right?
Yeah, I mean, which
I don't know if we can pay for Cup in this. Well, let's get a defense. Let's do defense.
all right, let's go down to the.
I mean, we could do the Jags or the Jets.
I mean, I prefer Jags if anything. Yeah, out of those bottom tiers, I'd take Jags, and I think it's a good play. Let's do Jags.
Yeah, let's go Jags.
And then, do you want to put Justin Jackson as one of the running backs? That'll save us a lot of money.
Yeah,
too.
we can. Yeah, because we haven't played like I think Marquise Brown's gonna be low owned, Chase is gonna be low owned, Fant I think will be low. Like we can get a few of the chalk, so we can put Jackson in.
Yeah. All right. So we need a running back, a receiver, and a flex.
Yeah. So we have 6,300 now. So we can pay down at running back again, probably.
Do you want to go?
And I don't know. I think we don't. We fade Ronald Jones in this one. I just think.
Yeah,
like,
no,
we
I
talked
agree.
about fading the tournaments.
I would say you can go Montgomery at 57.
I think Montgomery, or we go James Robinson, which correlates with Jags D.
Yeah, okay. Let's go Robinson first because I think you have to get him against the Jets. And then that leaves us 6,500 for each position.
Okay, now we need to probably get a piece of the Vikings.
So I think this is what you do here. You take Cup, that leaves you 3,900 left, and you go down to, and if you're expecting Tyreek Hill to miss, then
so we're fading AB in this one, right?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot AB. Jesus. But that gets you all the way down to McCole Harmon.
Well, hang on. If we go, Oh, we could do it. AB and Justin Jefferson if Thielen's out.
But I think he plays this week. So
Okay, if you think you because that would fit in perfect. But if we're trying to just get Cup in here just at all costs, which I am fine with that, then we either play Tyler Johnson, and that's leverage off of AB,
yeah,
or we can go to one of the Chiefs receivers and then upgrade our defense. So we play Hardman or Pringle and upgrade our D.
I'd say okay. Let's play Hardman, and we can get up to defense. We can get all the way up to the Rams, Ravens. I mean, there's not really
I
much.
don't mind. Well, no, I don't think we wouldn't play Rams in this one. We could play. Well, what does Pringle allow us? What's Pringle's price?
He's 31, right?
Ooh, 33. So then we can get up to the. So like I either like going all the way up to the Eagles or like Chargers. Man, it's like it's these last two spots. Unless we came off James Robinson and went down to what was the other play? Montgomery.
Yeah, 5,700.
Yeah, so let's go to David Montgomery, and then that allows us to play.
No one. They really didn't open up that much.
No,
Oh,
Chargers and Pringle,
Oh, we get the Chargers. Yeah,
and that correlates with Chargers or with Justin Jackson.
yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and
So-
Pringle will probably be better leverage off of Hardman.
Yeah, so you have Jackson, Montgomery, Brown, Chase, Cup, Fant, Pringle, Chargers. That's good. I like it.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. And then if Lamar comes out, we'll change it.
Then
But
you can just
hopefully.
you can go down to Stafford for 200 less, 6,700.
Oh yeah, well then we'd want
Yeah,
to play
then
him as a player, but yeah,
Yeah, perfect.
but yeah, that's a pretty solid tournament lineup, I would say.
Yeah.
But is there anything else we usually do at the end of the show, or is that it?
That's pretty much it. Oh, we're gonna be giving away like a $20
Oh
gift card.
yes. So if you somehow tuned in to the end of the show, this is how we'll really find out. But comment. What are we gonna do? What's the play? Like, are we saying?
So you have to comment on the YouTube and like the video, and the comment.
No. What's the?
Oh,
We get this. What
yeah.
are they guessing? Like the
So-
highest scoring something.
So I'd say
Highest scoring receiver? No, that's people just say Cup.
no, you have to do between like 4 different options. So
No, it needs to be something where they have to comment. Okay, maybe it's just like the highest scoring team this week.
okay.
That's hard to pick.
Yeah, let's all right. I like that.
All right, you can score if you can pick the highest scoring team on the entire. This is from Thursday starting tonight. Well, actually, no, you can't include that.
Yeah, you
though,
can't
'cause
do that.
starting on Saturday on Christmas, that to the end of Monday, or if any of the games get postponed,
Yep.
you guess the highest scoring team. We're giving away what was it, a 25 or
Let's do $25 to Amazon.
yeah, $25 Amazon gift card. So we're starting small. As the show gets bigger, we can increase the amount. But yeah, comment that.
Oh, and then
And-
also, I think another way for them to be entered, tag us on social media, like share it.
On
you
like your Instagram story
yeah,
or
just
something.
real quick. It doesn't have to be up all day. We're not asking for
Yeah, they can't tag us though, unfortunately.
What do you mean?
There's no Instagram page.
They can tag our social medias.
Oh yeah, we can find our social media.
So if you
sure.
want, because we'll post it to mine, Nick's, and Alex's. Basically, just repost a story to your story. Show us that and we'll go from there. So, good luck, everyone. Merry
Hopefully
Christmas.
you win some money.
Yep. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Hanukkah. We're gonna go down the list. Yeah. Thank you guys for.
But mainly Merry Christmas. All right, no, I'm joking.
Stay safe out there, peeps. Don't get the
right.
Omicron.
Yeah, don't get Omicron like Nick. That's
Yeah.
why he's not on the show.
Yep.
All right, guys. See you later. We'll see you next week. We're winding down to the end of the year. We got some a lot of 2-game slates coming up.
Yeah.
For sure. But thank you guys for watching. See you next week.
Peace.